What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? It is Monday, March 13th, and we're streaming live from Las Vegas, Nevada. It's great to see everybody here. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing good.
See that you have a little visitor on the stream.
Is she in the camera?
Look at me, June. Yeah,
Oh.
she is. Her face is in the camera.
Yes, Jen.
So,
Say good day. She likes to be on stream once in a while. June. Yes.
back on the WSP grind, everybody. It was a busy week for me with the Wynn Poker Classic. The main event went on. Didn't make money in that. So back to WSP.com for the next few days. We might be streaming a few more days this week too, besides just Monday and Tuesday. So, right now, what are we playing? This is the 2K Guaranteed. And we might jump into the 3K Guaranteed if this doesn't go our way in the next hour. But so far, it looks pretty good. So we started this with 8,000 chips, busted a guy, got a couple of blinds. And after we get this add-on, we should be top 30. So it's looking pretty good for us. I guess if all else fails, we might just go to we might just start streaming slots. I notice that a lot of the top streamers right now are in the poker channel are just doing a lot of slot machines.
We can probably find a good slot on our Steam.
Yeah, you know what? I think what
legitimate
we're gonna do,
slot game.
We're gonna go back and forth between slot machines and having a whole bunch of affiliate links to casinos.
Games. No.
And then
no,
we'll switch to old episodes of Poker After Dark and High Stakes Poker. So we'll just go back and forth between slot machines, copyright infringement.
No.
Slot machines, copyright infringement.
We should.
Oh no.
We should totally get a game that you can get on Steam for slots. Like there's some good games that you can get. And then you guys should buy the game, and then we'll get like affiliate, and we'll do it legit.
She's trolling me right now.
I don't
She's
troll people,
me.
dude. You troll yourself, Dutch.
I gotta tell you, it really does upset
you troll
me
yourself.
when I look at the poker channel. I'm like, okay, what's going on in poker today on Twitch? What is Twitch poker looking like today? And all I see is slot machine. Old episode of Poker After Dark, another slot machine, old episode of High Stakes Poker, and it's like, what is going on here? But there are some cool things going on the Twitch Poker channel. PokerStars is broadcasting one of their big tournaments in Poland. Is it Poland or Panama? It might be Panama. Big shout out to Ben Tollerine, who took down that super high roller out there. Will Givens took down the Wynn Poker Classic 600 this weekend. That's the event that I was in where the guy got disqualified.
Yeah, you should tell them that story. But first, shout out to Grateful Mouse. He's here in chat.
Yep, big shout out to Grateful Mouse. Great to see you, man. We also have Iceman Kiwi chilling out with us. So lovely to have you guys here. Scoobs McGee, Jeff Jim, Hessback. You guys are great. You guys want to hear how a guy got disqualified from a $600 tournament with about 12x starting stack?
Yeah.
So I guess if I was going to offer him a fair buyout when he got disqualified, we're probably looking at about $7,500, maybe $8,000. I mean, he was actually a pretty decent player. That's the problem with scumbags in poker, is a lot of times they're actually pretty decent at the game. So here I am in seat 3.
Sorry, I think that's funny.
Eric Blair is right next to me. You guys might not know Eric, but Eric is a pretty well-known Las Vegas grinder. He's kind of a pro's pro. He won a Venetian main event not too long ago, one of the deep stacks. So he's always rolling around with his Venetian watch, Tag Heuer Venetian Poker Room branded watch. Let me take a look and see. Let me get a picture of Eric Blair so you can get an image in your head of what is going on. Yeah, so here's a good picture of Eric.
You have to also, Dutch, you also have to announce. You have to. You forgot about your shelf.
Oh, I was gonna see if anybody noticed. Do you notice anything different about me? You guys got a little haircut, shave. The background is back. We brought it back, you guys. So this is Eric Blair, Pros Pro. How much does Eric Blair? How much has he won in poker? I mean, let me take a look really quick because it's a lot. It's a lot. Eric Blair, Hendon Mob. I'm gonna guess 1.6 million. Let's take a look. 1.3 million.
Billion.
Million. Best live cash was his. Let's take a look. WSOP circuit in Colorado Blackhawk. He won that main event for $116,000. He also won the Deep Stack Extravaganza 2 back in 2014 for $90,000. That was a pretty good couple of weeks, April and May in 2014. So he won. This is in a space of a month from April 19th to March 13th. He took down an 1100 Deep Stack Extravaganza for $90,000, a WSOP Circuit main event ring, and a 2K at the Wynn Classic. So he had a $250,000 month back in 2014. Doesn't look like he's done anything since then, but he's had some pretty decent runs. You know, I'm not saying that he's done nothing. He's actually been doing really well, but that was as good as his poker career has been out here in Vegas. Was that 1 month where he just couldn't stop winning. And since then, he did have, let's see, he took down Deep Stack Extravaganza in 2012. But since then, it looks like he doesn't have, well, no, he won something at WSOP Circuit just a couple of weeks ago. February 24th for $46,000, the Monster Stack, the 365 event number 2. So he won another ring for $46,000 just a few weeks ago. The guy's a crusher, okay? He's the kind of person when Eric Blair sits at your table, you're not happy to see him. You know, he's very polite, but he's also very good. He knows where he's at. He opens very light. He 3-bets super light. If you 3-bet him, he 4-bets super light, and he is a force to be reckoned with at any table. And so, yeah, you know, you pay attention to him. You watch what he's doing. All of a sudden, Eric pulls back from his chair right after a dinner break, and he starts looking around. He's wearing these plaid cloth shorts that look like not a very secure place to put anything in. And he's like padding his pockets, these plaid little fabric shorts. It looks like something that he'd make in like sewing class back in junior high. And he's looking down on the floor. Chris Angel, thanks for the auto host, by the way. John Blaze up in Twitch Prime.
Yeah,
2 months ago, and Grateful Mouse for 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
2 years. Has it been 2 years already, man?
Yeah.
It's a long time.
You know, I look really dark in this. Is it dark?
No, you look bright. Bright as the sun.
Hear that, June?
So Eric Blair's patting down his stupid little shorts, looking at the ground,
They're
looking
awesome
for something.
shorts.
And I figure, what did he drop? What did he drop? I say, Eric, what are you looking for, bud? He's like, nothing. Nothing. Don't worry about it. And he's like looking back. He's looking around. He's kind of freaking out. I'm like, dude, you're giving me like, you kind of freak. You kind of stressing me out here. What are you looking for? Let me help you look for it. He's like, dropped a little vape pen, a black little vape pen. I remember when I was driving back, I saw him vaping outside of his SUV in the parking lot. I was like, "You sure that you brought it back? Maybe you just left it in your car?" He's like, "No, I'm sure." He's looking down, and I'm like, "Okay, well let's look for this. You know, it can't have gone far. It obviously fell out of his pocket. Yeah, because these are like, it's the kind of shorts that you put anything in there, and you even like just like sit down for a second, and it's all gonna spill out." The guy next to us on the other table says, "Hey, what are you looking for? You looking for a little black vape pen?" He's like, "Yeah. Have you seen it?" He's like, "Yeah." The guy next to you picked it up, put it in his left pocket.
Did you put the table back up?
Yeah.
Okay.
The guy next to him was it was this younger kid. I'd say about 24, 25. He's wearing this big, bright green "Make America Great Again" hat. And he's wearing these sunglasses. And real thin. And he was just kind of going back, like, you know, the guy like pointed at him and said he took it. He picked it up and put it in his left pocket. And so the kid's like, what am I getting accused of? He's like, Eric looks at him and says, like, that guy says that he picked up my vape pen. He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't pick anything up. So we're still looking for it. He's like, and Eric looks at him. He's like, you sure you didn't just pick it up and put it in your pocket? The guy's like, no, I didn't. The guy wheels over, and he says, 100% he put it in his pocket. It's in there right now. It's like, look, I don't appreciate you accusing me of stealing. Just back up right now, or we're gonna have a fucking problem. And he's like,
he was getting a massage too, I thought.
He ordered the massage girl. Like, this is kind of truncating the story that lasted about 20 minutes, truncating to about shortening it. I'm shortening the story. So yeah, at some point in this, he
seems like it's a long story to me. It's already been like 10 minutes. Shortening the story. I think that's a misnomer.
Okay, so it's a long story.
Yes. So wait,
but it was a longer confrontation. Gosh, I want to make the call here. Let's make a call. Queen 6 of spades. I want to see what happens.
So like what? So in this whole endeavor, when the guy that got his pen jacked, when the floor came over, the floor thought he meant an actual pen.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. There's more to this story.
Yeah, I was trying to make it short.
So the guy who came over accusing Seat 1 in the "Make America Great Again" hat of stealing the pen, he goes, "Look, I'm sure that he stole it." He pulls out this big wad of cash. He says, if that vape pen is not in his left pocket, I'll give you $1,000. He says that to Eric Blair. And the guy's like, look, back the fuck off. I don't appreciate you giving me a lot of anxiety. We're going to have a fucking problem if you don't stop accusing me of stealing. And Eric looks at him. He's like, hey, dude, I mean, $1,000, I'll split it with you if you just empty your pocket, you know, just pull it out and show that there's nothing in there.
Oh, he was going to split it with...
The guy goes, no, I'm not emptying my pocket. I don't appreciate being accused of anything. And Eric goes, I'll give you 800 to 1,000. He's like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not emptying my pocket for anybody. It's the principle of it. The guy goes, $2,000. And Eric goes, dude, I'll give you all of it. I'll give you all of it. Just empty your pocket. The guy's like, no, I would never. I will never empty my pocket for two measly $1,000. I don't appreciate it. You're giving me anxiety. And we're all looking at him. And I'm like, I guess you also have the pen in your pocket then, huh? I mean, like,
such a stupid... Was it like even a good pen? I mean, was it like one of those cheap
I guess I would have anxiety too if I stole somebody's vape pen. No, that's the thing, okay? It was not an Enjoy pen. It was a black vape pen with...
pot in it?
Drugs in it.
Oh.
That's why Eric wasn't wanting to make a big deal out of it.
You sure it was drugs, though? Were you sure it had drugs in it?
Well, I asked Eric. I said, does it have some weed in it? And he's like, why does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
I said, I was just wondering if it was worth stealing or not.
It doesn't matter if it's weed or not.
He didn't say yes. He didn't confirm or deny.
He doesn't look like a weed smoker to me.
What does a weed smoker look like?
He doesn't look like it to me.
He's a poker player fretting about a vape pen.
I think a weed smoker looks like Patrick Stewart.
It definitely had weed oil in it. I'm just telling you, it definitely had weed oil in it, and this is one of the reasons why Eric didn't want to make a big deal out of it.
Well, I don't think he's a weed smoker.
Okay, fine.
I think he's addicted to nicotine.
Just nicotine and weed. So the guy gets up, and he's like really causing the scene. He's like, back off, man. Back off, or we're going to have a problem. And so the floor comes over. He's like, what's the issue here?
I wish you know what you did wrong in this whole thing, Dutch? You didn't record any of it.
You can't record in a casino.
It doesn't matter. You should have recorded it for
I really wanted to snap a picture of the kid.
For our
I
records.
really wanted to, but you can't record in a casino. You can't take pictures in a casino. In some
For
tournaments
our
you can.
records.
You know, in some tournaments, when you sign up, you sign a waiver, and they allow.
Well, I wouldn't have shown it to the
pictures and
world.
stuff.
I would have just, kept it for my
Just
own
for my own
personal
purposes?
library.
Put the picture in my pocket. I'm glad I didn't, because if I did, then later on when they were reviewing the cameras
Haircut.
and seeing that this guy did in fact reach down and take this guy's, take Eric's vape pen, they would have also saw me taking pictures and videoing it, and maybe I would have gotten DQ'd as well. So the floor comes by. He thought that we were just talking about a pen, like a Bic pen. He was like, well, I'm not going to check the cameras for a pen. That's stupid, you guys.
You know what you should have? You should have your ringtone in your phone be "Bad boys, what you gonna do?" And then I should have called you. You should have texted me and told me to call you, and then it would have just played. It would have been really funny.
I'd be like, seat one.
It would have been hilarious.
We're going to get muted now because you sang that song.
Nah, I didn't sing enough.
Coonsy08, thank you very much for the 24-month resub. We also have Pocket Protractor with 15 months. You guys are awesome. If it wasn't for you guys, this show would not go on, so thank you very much for that. So Eric Blair, he ends up getting it in good with kings against ace-queen, and the guy catches an ace, so he's crippled. He loses his all-in hand where he makes the shove and gets called light, and he loses it. And he's out. He's out of the tournament. So he doesn't get to see when I tweeted about it, and a couple of the floors were like, wait a minute, it was an actual vape pen. It wasn't just a regular pen. That's different. That's not... That's actually stealing something intentionally from a guy that has $40-$50 of value.
Well,
let's
for
go to
you,
the cameras.
It's a little more because of the nicotine.
So they do go to the cameras, and about 45 minutes later, 3 security guards and 2 floor escort him from the table.
Like, how did it happen? So was he in a hand, or how many chips did he have?
He had about 180,000.
So and was he what seat was he in? What was he, like the big blind?
At this point, he was in seat 7.
He was
they
in
had
seat
broken
7.
our table, so I don't exactly know where he was, like as far as whether he was playing a hand or not. I don't know.
But you witnessed this.
I saw a couple security guards come in.
Just security guards.
And I was like, oh, snap.
You should have took a picture then.
I can't take pictures, baby. You can't take pictures in a casino.
I don't believe it. That any of this happened.
You can't take pictures in a casino, you guys. You can take pictures at the series because everyone signs a waiver.
Hear that, June?
They take privacy pretty seriously. So, So 3 security guards come, and they take him up from the table, and they escort him over to the wall, and they get his ID out, and they're holding it so that the camera can get the ID, and then they read something off of a little card, and then he walks out escorted by 2 security guys. The whole time he's like kind of animated, insisting that they can't just disqualify him. You can't do that. And then he's on his phone, I assume talking to a lawyer or
his
on
mom.
Hold with Nevada Gaming.
He's on his phone with his mom.
who is a lawyer.
They caught me.
Whatever. I'm sure that he was letting the wind know that they're going to get what for this this horrible insult. Yeah. And
so,
they disqualify. The next thing that they do after he's gone out of the casino, never to return again. What am I supposed to do with this guy firing out 200 into 21-25? I don't know. So the next thing is the floor comes by with 3 big racks. And I don't think I can get Headhunter to fold. I also don't think a king or a jack is any good here. Picks up his chips. And those chips are gone.
And he started
now.
playing in the tournament.
He's gone.
Oh, that's sad. Did he cry? Do you think he cried? Do you think he took the vape pen and took a hit?
I think that's exactly what he did.
This,
I think he was all pissed off and got into his car and he drove away.
What he should have done was take a
And
picture
as
of
he
the
was
vape
driving
pen.
away, he pulled out the vape pen
And said,
took a great
"Sucker!"
big hit of it. That's what I think he did. So that was the Wynn Classic. I ended up busting shortly after making a raise with Queen 9 suited in the cutoff, getting 2 callers. Flop came out Queen 7-5 with 2 spades. I got check raised from the small blind, and I decided that he had a spade draw. So I made the call with the intention of pushing him off the spade draw on the turn when it missed, but then
June loves going back
turn
here.
came
Wow.
a
You're weird, June.
9 of spades. So now I'm looking at it thinking, well, if he was open-ended, no, not a 9 of spades. It was like an 8 of spades. So he hit the spade, basically is what I'm telling you. He hit the spade and he let out, and I was pretty sure that my Queen 9 was not good. It was just top pair with a lousy kicker against what turned out to be a flush. I'm pretty sure. So I made the fold, left myself with like 8 big blinds. 3 hands later, I make the shove with King 10 off suit and get called with Ace 10 off suit, and that's my tournament.
That
Well,
story was shorter.
I don't think that we can really expect a C-bet here since Papa's Gino just open limped under the gun. So let's go ahead and fire out with our open-ended straight draw, backdoor flush draw, and pair draws. If we're up against overcards, I actually think that we're a favorite with all those outs. I'd have to run it through the machine. You want to run it through the machine?
No, you can.
Yeah, let's do. Educational.
What machine are you running? The right hand, hand now or then?
The
What
one
are you talking
right
about?
now, the one that we just.
Oh, I missed it because
Just played.
I was doodling on a pad of paper.
So it was 7 of clubs, 4 of clubs versus whatever. Let's give him King of Hearts, Queen of Spades, and the board is a 5 of clubs, 6 of hearts, 9 of spades. Simulate it. Wow, I love Poon.
Do you?
I hate that guy.
Is that like
I hate
pudding?
that guy.
Pudding? Does he mean pudding?
No. So yeah, we're 51.62% to 48.38% if he has king queen.
Thought.
And ace king doesn't change it 1 iota.
Did you make the right move, or were we trying to figure out if it was the right move? Or was it?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I fire out and I'm up against overcards, if the 7-4 is actually ahead of the overcards, and it is. It is.
Hello, D's Nuts Poker. Has your girlfriend found out your name yet? Oh, market. Okay.
Good to see you, Market Anarchy. What did we just see happen? So it looks like I Love Poon fired out on the flop. Got called. Gave up. So Bonyfish asking, shouldn't his chips remain in play and become blinded off? No. No, they shouldn't. Because that would give that table a pretty big advantage over the other tables. If there's a dead stack that's just being blinded off and disseminated among everybody at his table, then that gives that table a leg up on everybody else. And not only that, but it gives certain people at that table, namely the person who would be right next to him and the person who would be on the button when he'd be in the big blind, and the cutoff when he'd be in the big blind, it gives them a pretty big advantage over the players who are at the table. You know, so it's not really fair to leave his chips in play and blind them off. I'll tell you, that would have taken a long time too, because he had a ton of chips, and I think I feel like the Wynn did exactly the right thing. I think that they handled it really well. I was very surprised, and it made me really happy. But the floor one of the floor guys over there, he messaged me about it, and he said, the thing is, it doesn't matter. We hate to disqualify anybody from a tournament. We hate it. It sucks. And we hate 86ing anybody. But the thing is, if he's going to intentionally steal something from another player, then there's no telling what he would do. There's no telling. If he's going to steal some guy's vape pen and then make a huge fit when he's basically caught red-handed denying doing it, then it's the same kind of person who's going to reach over and steal a couple of chips from the top of a guy's stack. It's the same kind of person who would be marking cards or running collusion scams at a table. He's the same kind of person who would dump chips to a buddy. It's the same kind of person who would set up, weird, sports betting scams within the little community there. So they're trying to protect their players, and I feel like they did a pretty good job there, making sure that we weren't going to be duped by anybody wearing a green "Make America Great Again" hat. I really appreciated the win a lot more after that whole situation played out. So respect. 3 betting me. I'm gonna go ahead and just give it up. I hate folding, but there it is. Bonyfish, I've seen it happen a number of times. It happened this last summer at the World Series, where a player got disqualified. He got into a big argument with another player, and then when security and the floors started coming over, he started acting really belligerent and like yelling at everybody and really throwing a huge fit. And like, I did nothing! Hold me back! It was really uncomfortable. And Jack Effel disqualified him. It was a bracelet event. It was the one drop charity event at the very end of the series. I actually got a picture and a video of that. He got disqualified, and they did. Yeah, they took his chips right off the table. So usually when someone gets disqualified, DQ'd from a tournament for something like that, they are going to remove his chips from play. Clone 213, good to see you. Jean Paul the Great, it is in fact live.
It's live, but what's live? Oh, is this live?
The stream.
Oh, yeah.
So Grateful Mouse talking about that Bitcoin price, $1,240. What? Got up to $1,350 this last weekend because there was a lot of speculation. The Winklevoss twins have been trying to get together an ETF through the SEC. That's a lot of abbreviations, isn't it? So the SEC was going to make the decision this Friday, and everyone was thinking that if the ETF was approved, Bitcoin was going to take a pretty big jump. So there was a lot of speculation, and people kind of felt like the increase was due to that. The SEC said, no, we're not going to allow this ETF to go. We're not going to sanction it because Bitcoin is too anonymous, and we can't really surveil it and regulate it in the same way that we can normal securities. So we're not going to allow you Winklevoss twins, you Winklevi, to have your Bitcoin ETF. And so immediately the price plummeted. But it turns out that it wasn't really that much based on the promise of an ETF anyway, because then it rebounded pretty good. It's $12.40 today. $12.40, $12.50. I gotta tell you though, Grateful Mouse, I've been kind of getting into Ether. Ethereum. Started looking into that. I'm a believer, and actually, as soon as that ETF got turned down, Ethereum skyrocketed. It looks like a lot of the people who were invested and kind of speculating on Bitcoin jumped out of Bitcoin and jumped right into Ethereum. There's a couple of other things that are going on with Ethereum right now, which really make me hopeful that something solid can happen with this alt currency. It's not like a lot of other altcoins. It's not like Litecoin or Darkcoin or Dash or Brocoin or Dogecoin. Pick a coin. Pink coin, Kanye coin.
Dogecoin. We should put all our money in Doge right now.
Yeah.
That's what we should buy. We should buy Dogecoin.
Not a chance.
How much is Dogecoin going for right now? Because I would like to buy some. I'm going to buy $100 worth of Doge right now.
I don't know how much it's going for, but I can tell you this. Ethereum has shot up in price. It shot up like 50% in 4 days. So there's some pretty cool things happening with Ethereum. If you guys have not looked into Ethereum and how it kind of represents a Bitcoin 2.0, you really should. For one thing, it's a lot faster. The block times are a lot smaller. It took me like 2 hours to transfer some Bitcoin to an exchange so I could buy up some Ethereum with it. It took like 5 minutes to get the Ethereum back.
Doge is not worth a lot. Doge is not worth anything.
Well, you can't look at it by the coin. You got to look at it by the market cap.
Yeah, whatever. I'm looking at it by the coin, yo.
Anyway, what really makes Ethereum powerful, though, is that it has a built-in scripting language that's Turing complete, which allows you to do a lot of things with Ethereum right on the blockchain.
Doge is worth like hard. What is the value of this point 0.00000020? What is that? Like, what is that, Dutch?
Like
Here.
10,000 Dogecoin is $1? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. We should buy like 10,000 Dogecoin.
Dogecoin is never going to do anything.
You don't know
It's
that.
a joke of a coin.
Hey, you know what? I know some other joke of a coins that are trying to make it somewhere, Dutch. You have to believe.
So I am Krista says, if someone drops
Here.
something and you pick it up, is it really stealing?
There, Doge.
Yeah.
Can you check it out, Dutch?
It is really stealing, especially if you know that they dropped it, if you see them drop it, and then they ask if you picked it up.
What's
it's
the
definitely
lamest
stealing.
thing that I did at the club once when I worked? So lame. No, somebody
you steal
dropped.
something?
I wish I dropped money, or I didn't drop money. I found money on the floor, and I did the right thing and turned it in. And some other guy heard me turn it in, and he claimed it. Then the bouncer was like, "Next time, you could just keep the money."
Are you sure that it wasn't his money? Maybe it was his money.
No, it was in a rubber band. It was in a stripper rubber band. So how dancers?
It was a stripper's money.
Yes. How?
Some lame ass scumbag. It was probably the same dude.
No, but listen, what happened? So how dancers, how they have to wrap their money in a rubber band. They can't carry purses in this particular club that I worked at. They weren't allowed. So you had to wrap a rubber band around your ankle, and then double rubber band it. And sometimes the rubber band snaps. And it was folded like it was a strip. It was in somebody's shoe.
There were a lot of
And
singles.
I did the right.
A lot of singles.
No, 20s. Singles.
You did the right thing, Michelle.
Yeah, no, I turned it in because, whatever.
You know what?
And it was
It's
right by
on
the locker
him.
room.
Some other scumbag is going to claim it that it's not his, whatever.
No, but I was like, fuck, that's like $100. I just could have just
Dude,
ran
it's
off
pretty
with.
lame.
But no, so that's my lesson. But yeah, I usually turn in wallets and stuff. It's the right
By the
thing
way,
to do.
we got Money Miser subscribing again. Great to see you.
Cool.
Thank you so much for being here, Money Miser. Still have the lucky fist bump coin that you printed off for me in my coin display behind me. You're awesome. Eric P. Fanning says, short Bitcoin, thank me later. How do you even go about shorting Bitcoin, Eric? Is there, I thought that was the whole point of the ETF, was to allow those kind of short positions and weird trades.
I don't know, man. I like I don't know about Bitcoin. I feel like it's all right.
What don't you know about Bitcoin?
I just don't like the transaction. The transaction that you did was like 2 hours long. That's not really positive. And
Well,
I think that
How long did it take?
I guess
how long does it take to wire money?
But I think-
if you're going to try to wire
Well, I
money from
think
one
that
bank account to another,
like
it
I-
takes like 2 days, and
like
they
I-
charge you a lot of money for that.
Like I said, I think that when Bitcoin, if Bitcoin ever gets any bigger, if it does, it's like if we see it on regular vendors. I mean, I don't see it on vendors, and then when we do see it, they charge you a lot anyways. Like the ATM was a long time. I mean, the technology isn't there yet, I don't think, and it's like a.
I
And it's,
agree with
I just
you.
don't think it's there, dude.
I agree with you that the technology hasn't matured yet. It's very much in its infancy. And actually, when I start looking at like Ethereum and looking at some of these projects that people put together and realize, man, coders just don't have any eye for aesthetics generally. Usually when you see when you go to a coder's
Well-
personal website and it's basically just like a couple lines of text, and it's like, wow.
Well,
I mean,
the
like,
thing is, though, they're that's what they do. They're not designers; they're coders.
no, they aren't.
And the same thing with Ethereum and Bitcoin and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's a currency. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to. You know, it's not supposed to be a design. Maybe
I'll
should
tell you
be
what,
a
Eric P.
designer,
Fenning
Dutch.
saying short Bitcoin, thank me later.
I agree with him. Sell all your Bitcoins.
I
will buy your Bitcoins for $50, guys.
I completely disagree with him, but this is what I would say. I'm going to go ahead and check back, by the way. This is what I would say. You know, you might be right. Bitcoin might not survive and stand the test of time, but the technology that it's based on, this whole blockchain idea, decentralized transactions, where you don't have to ask permission to start accepting Bitcoin. It's a pretty powerful idea. The whole idea of the blockchain is pretty powerful. And when you start looking at, using blockchain technology for things other than just processing, it's pretty mind-blowing once you start wrapping your head around what, some of these smart contracts can end up doing. You know what? I think we're going to go ahead and fire out a half-pot bet here against Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So if Bitcoin doesn't stand the test of time, I'm convinced that there will be some sort of cryptocurrency using blockchain technology that does.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to disrupt not only...
But what if it's just like money? What if they take our money, instead of using it like we have cash, they just evolve it into some kind of cryptocurrency? See, that's the beautiful
thing about Bitcoin, like Bitcoin and blockchain technology, is it's not just money. It's not just money. The blockchain has so much more implications besides just allowing for processing. It's not just online gold.
Yeah, but don't you feel like with the competition of this processing, this non-existent processing fee, or this very mini processing fee, don't you feel like that today's processors will adapt, or there will be a cheaper processor out there that will just dominate it, that will have the...
How can you be cheaper than free?
Well, then who's making money if it's free, Dutch?
Everybody who uses it, who would be paying Western Union or paying Visa, paying MasterCard.
But it's not free, though. You pay a little fee.
You don't have to. You pay it. You pay a little fee to give it priority on the chain. You know what? I think Raisin Blazin has Ace King, so I'm gonna go ahead and continue with this. Let's raise to 6,000.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I'm not wise enough to know. I just know this, that I am like a normal consumer who likes credit card. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
That likes to use fast and easy stuff. I don't really like the idea of like getting a wallet, doing all that stuff, losing the wallet, not being insured. I mean, a lot of I think consumers need that assurance too. Like, who's going to insure like transactions? Like, I've read stories about people not getting their coins from Coinbase, for example. Like, it's gone. Or you have a transaction and you get ripped off. There's no repercussions for that. Like, wasn't there somebody doing that for Bitcoin, for PayPal or something? He was ripping.
I don't even understand what you're saying. I don't understand your
There's
question.
no backing. There's no security. There's if the banks fail in the bank, it's secured.
You're basically saying you're basically criticizing Bitcoin for not having anybody insure it
or in charge of it. It's like
basically like
regulations. I'm criticizing.
Having some recourse if
I'm criticizing it. No. I'm criticizing it for not having regulations. That's what I'm criticizing it for.
But the fact
I understand that you don't want to regulate it, and I'm saying that
the fact that it can't easily be regulated is a feature, not a bug.
Well, that's your opinion.
It's actually what makes it strong and robust.
It's your opinion.
The fact that it can't be controlled by a government, and that's powerful.
Well, don't you feel like it can't be controlled if the government doesn't allow it or makes it illegal?
Look, there are some ways that Bitcoin could be brought to its knees by a government actor.
I think right now, I think
know,
the
like,
government and personally is just like kind of waiting and seeing what manifests out of it. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I just think that
What's the question? Because I probably know the answer here. What's
if
What's
Bitcoin's
the
gonna be
question?
if Bitcoin's gonna be successful in the future, it could be like a trend. Look at there's been
there's a lot of money
a lot of
invested
trends.
in Bitcoin right now. Not in Bitcoin, but building the infrastructure around it. There's actually a lot more money that's been invested in like Bitcoin-based startups.
But don't you think
than
it's
all
like
of
a
Bitcoin
financial?
are worth.
But don't you think that it's kind of a financial fad? I mean, how many? I mean, you know a lot about Bitcoin, but how many people really know about Bitcoin?
No,
Like,
Bitcoin
you
is
know
not
a lot.
fad. Bitcoin is a fad
No,
the
but
same
what
way
I'm
that
saying-
the World Wide Web was a fad. The same way that the HTTP protocol was a fad. It's not a fad, it's the future. Blockchain technology is the future. Decentralized, peer-to-peer maintenance of a blockchain, which is going to allow people to transfer wealth and transfer information and store information, is a really powerful thing. These DAOs that are coming up, I mean, this is the future. It's the future of future face of corporations. It's so disruptive to so many different industries, least of which is going to turn out to be processing. I'm telling you, it's not just about money. It's not just about processing. It's about the whole corporate structure. It's about a lot more than just being able to send money from here to Peru with no transaction fee. It's a lot more than that. But even if that was all it was, payment processing is one of the biggest industries right now, and all it is
but
based
Eric
on this
has a good-
middleman
Eric
taking
has
a little
a-
piece
but
of
Eric
every
has a
dollar
good-
that goes through.
But Eric has a good point: is that the big banks will never let it fly. I mean, right now, big corporations
See,
have
Eric,
control of our government.
That's what I love about
The lobbyists are going to be
about
there.
Bitcoin is the big banks don't have a choice. That's the point.
Yeah,
You
but
don't
they
have to
can
ask-
they not? But can they not lobby against it? Can they not make laws
let's
against
spell
it?
out a couple of
for
worst case scenarios.
But what they could
okay?
do is say to the consumer that it's not safe.
Okay.
There's no way to track
They
it.
can market against it. And to me, that's not a worst case scenario. A worst case scenario would be if Wall Street somehow gets a number of government actors to criminalize ownership of Bitcoin. So all of a sudden, if you're American, if you're Chinese, if
Yeah,
you're
I
Russian,
agree with.
it's going to be illegal to own it.
I agree. This is what I think. And this is I agree. Grateful Mass is right, and this is what I said to you. Invest in pot, dude.
I think that Grateful Mouse is saying invest in friends, invest in buds,
Right.
invest in buds, invest
That's
in friendship.
right. And pot.
Friends won't let you down. Your best buds will never let you down.
That's right.
Grateful
Buds and
Mouse, I
friends.
think that probably is a good thing to put some money into.
And
right
if you
now
guys
as
are
well.
interested, we do have a domain name called MrPot.com. If you guys are interested, only serious inquiries.
Serious inquiries only. But if you're not serious about inquiring, you can inquire about bongrip.com. That's another one that we have.
Yes.
Bongrip.com.
Yeah, but don't you feel like Bong Rip is going to be
Not
also
serious
is it-
inquiries
Don't you
only.
feel like Bong Rip is also going to be outdated because of the vaping thing?
No, I think people will continue.
And
to
speaking
use
of
bongs.
vaping, isn't like there's supposed to be some legislation against it or something? Like they're tobacco's trying to push it out.
I feel like you're being kind of a buzzkill tonight.
No, I'm just wondering if you know. Because you have a friend that's in the business, and he was like all stressed out about it.
I would
I'm not
be
being. I'm
really
being. I'm just
surprised.
saying the facts.
I would be really surprised
And I'm asking you a question.
If they criminalized vaping.
Well, I mean, like criminalized process or whatever.
I don't know.
Like, didn't they? I mean, we don't vape. I thought your friend was having issues because of about like something about online or something about the way that they process it. Like he was
A
going to have
couple of
problems.
buddies who made some pretty decent money off of the vaping industry, and it is one of those industries that probably have a lot of lobbying groups trying to kill it, but it also has a lot of adopters. It has a lot of people who enjoy vaping. So I don't know. Jean Paul the Great talking about Elon Musk and PayPal. I mean, PayPal is a good example of, something that was disruptive of the processing industry. And
But don't you think that's what PayPal has done though? Is like bridge that gap? That's what I'm saying.
what gap?
The gap with the transitions, the transactions. Like it's another like form of credit. Because that's what it is. It's like
You're saying that there's no need for Bitcoin.
well, I'm saying
is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is Bitcoin is like a commodity. It has a value. The value is based on money. You have to buy it with cash. You don't go to Starbucks and
You
buy.
don't actually have to buy Bitcoin with cash.
But
can
you don't.
mine it.
But okay, whatever. Okay, whatever. But you don't
You can
go.
earn it in other ways. You can earn it just like.
Okay,
it is a
technicality.
form of cash.
So, but you can't go to Walmart and buy anything with it. You have to convert it first to cash. Just like a credit card, you can't.
Right now you do. You're right, but there are other places that you can just go and spend it.
But that's
like
my
cash.
point. But with the credit card,
Newegg.com, for example.
But then that's what I mean. But for
If
credit cards,
Amazon or if Amazon ever started accepting Bitcoin, or if Walmart ever started accepting Bitcoin, Walmart could accept Bitcoin. That's something that they could do. They could they could easily put that in.
Why
as a
don't they?
payment
Then why
option
doesn't
along with all
somebody?
their
Why
other-
doesn't somebody then instead of like try to, or why doesn't somebody make a credit card that's based on Bitcoin but pays cash, so you can go use a real credit card that's backed with Bitcoin but give a person cash, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, there are actually a couple of startups that are doing just that. BitPay, for example, you can get a Bitcoin debit card where you load it with Bitcoin and you use it wherever a Visa and MasterCard is accepted, and you pay a little fee.
That's where I would think the money would be.
Doesn't it go against the whole idea of using Bitcoin when you're paying a middleman to spend your own money? I mean, isn't that what we're trying to get away from?
But the problem is that you have to have it socially acceptable. You can't have it socially acceptable. Nobody accepts it. Dutch.
There are people who accept it. There are people who accept it.
Really?
Yes, it's not just. It's not just Silk Road and Dream Market that you can spend your Bitcoin in. You can also spend your Bitcoin in other places. Newegg.com is an example. I don't think that you should just be like, what is that? That's where we got all of our computer stuff.
Yeah, and they also are not very
that's-
good at and they also screwed up our order, and
they suck at customer support.
Yeah,
They suck at
so,
delivery times right around Christmas. But they accept Bitcoin, and you can spend it just like cash. There's other markets. Open Bazaar is starting to become like the marketplace online, where now not only can you do you not have to ask permission to accept or send money anymore. You also don't have to ask anybody's permission to set up a marketplace anymore. There's really interesting things going on where when you start looking at the industries it's disrupting, there's a lot of things that could go wrong for Bitcoin, and there's a lot of ways.
Don't
that
you feel
banks
like
and
people are
governments
buying
could fight
Bitcoin just to hold it to make money?
I mean, you're mentioning something that Jason Wheeler actually, who you guys probably know Jason Wheeler as one of the top poker players right now. We were playing at the Wynn Classic main event, and the conversation turned to Bitcoin, and that's exactly what he said. He said, the problem with Bitcoin is no one uses it. People just hoard it. People are just,
Like
the only
gold.
people who own Bitcoin are speculators who are hoping that it goes up, and they never
right.
spend it because they expect it's going to go all the way to the moon.
So don't you think that actually stops its growth of these normal people using it? Like my mother would never use it because it's somebody's hoarding it.
No, I don't. I don't think it stops its growth. I think that, look, it's like gold in that people don't go and buy gold to spend gold.
That's right.
Okay?
They don't.
But if
They
you
wait for the
could
value.
Just go into Walmart and buy a big screen TV and pay for it with a little gold piece and say, I will pay for this. Do you accept silver? Here's
Yeah, I don't
20
think they
ounces
would,
of silver
though.
for this HD TV. I don't think that would make people hoard less gold or hoard less silver. I think people spending it would actually increase the amount of hoarding. Like it would just like adoption would increase the amount of hoarding.
Well, hoarding is
You
all.
know, there'd be more people who would speculate.
Hoarding's all in the matter
the liquidity would be there. You know, anytime you wanted to spend gold, you could just go and spend it.
But hoarding's all in the matter of anybody being able to afford that kind of
One of the problems with investing in gold is that you have, if you have like a gold bar, you know, and it goes up, you're like, yay, I just got a little richer. But you can't just go and like convert your gold into money just like that. You actually have to find somebody who's going to buy it, and they're always going to juice you.
Same thing with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's different because you can actually spend it. You can actually spend it. And if you are going to convert it for cash, you can convert it with very, very little fee.
But you can't. You're only limited. And you know what? But you say you can spend it, and I'm sure you can spend gold. But you have to find the right vendors. That's the bottom line.
See if we can get through this.
The bottom line is the vendors, Dutch. The people that are selling the stuff. I'm sure that if you go to a mom and pop shop and offer them a gold coin for an ice cream cone, they're going to give you a freaking ice cream cone. You know, I just don't agree with that analogy. I think people, if they know something about gold,
obviously, if you offer them a $1,500,
I'm going to sell them that ice cream
coin, they're going to give you a $2 ice cream cone. Yes. But if you go into Walmart and try to buy anything, or if you go into the same mom and pop shop and you try to buy a $20 meal for $20 worth of gold, they're not going to take the gold. They're going to tell you, no, we only take cash. You're like, this is as good as cash.
Yeah, but don't you think they would take?
Scale.
But don't you
You'll
think?
see.
But don't you think they would take gold if management gave them the proper training to take the gold? And knew how to take it, just like credit cards, and just like Bitcoins. If they had the proper tools to take the
Do I think
the
a
payment,
mom and pop ice cream shop would take gold?
if they knew how to properly, like they used to, that's how they used to do currency, Dutch. Silver coins used to be, they used to weigh it, and they used to cut off a piece of silver and say that's what it's worth. So I mean, what you're saying, you're
back up just a little bit. What's the point?
You're the one that's making the weird analogies.
I don't even know what we're arguing about anymore.
No, look, the point is this, Dutch.
Bitcoin is awesome. Blockchain is the future. You guys did not hear it here first. You did not hear it here first. Michelle doesn't believe in Bitcoin anymore. She always reminds me how she believed in Bitcoin when
I didn't believe it. I never believed in Bitcoin.
But I asked you $1,250. She doesn't believe.
I asked you what do you think about this technology, and you were like, whatever. But I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I listened to it. I think it's very complicated for the person that's not involved. Like you are involved in it. This is a thing that you are into. Just like there's a bunch of coders that are not into C++ anymore. They're into Ruby, or they're into whatever. You know, it's like
funny that you mentioned that, because Bitcoin was actually coded in C++.
See?
Fun fact.
See, C++, and now there's going to be like Ruby people, or Python people, or
Go.
Yeah, I mean,
the new Google
I feel
language.
like the way that the coins are being like made, it's making the value of Bitcoin less. Because it's like so many people,
Mason
like
GP
Brocoin
says you can tip in Bitcoins on Twitch. I can tell you, Mason, I have never once gotten a tip in Bitcoin, ever. We have a Bitcoin address. We had a little Bitcoin donation address. I have not one time, not a single time, ever received a Bitcoin donation or a Bitcoin tip. Jason Wheeler's right. Michelle's right. People don't use Bitcoin. Even though Overstock, and even though Newegg, and even though 1-800-Flowers.com accepts Bitcoin, people don't use Bitcoin there.
They hoard it.
They hoard it.
They hoard it.
Because it just keeps on going up and
just
up.
like my stamps. I buy stamps. It's just like that. I buy stamps, Dutch, and I'm hoping that they go up and up in value. No, it's not
just
like
like a stamp collection.
That's right. You're a coin collection. Hey, little meow.
Little meow, good to see you.
I mean, if you guys want to invest in Bitcoin, that's fine. But I mean, investing in Bitcoin is not the same thing as using it as a currency. Just that in itself. Just using it as like a stock. You can't spend stock as money. You can't go and have your stock and go, I'm going to spend my stock here.
Well, we're
you
ahead
have to
of King
cash
Jack.
it.
We're ahead of Jack 9. That's it. And a Sugar Ray was doing some sort of weird out of position float. We're ahead of that. It's weird.
That's cool now, though. I did find out that we can spend your gold like a credit card.
You know, I kind of feel like we're ahead. We're ahead of King 9. We're ahead of Jack 9. We're ahead of King Jack. Would Sugar Ray be firing out the pot-sized bet with a queen? Jack 10. That makes sense too, I guess. Okay, let's get into the 30.
Pawn shops, yeah, they can be mom and pop shops, sure.
This is the one that we want to win anyway.
Yeah, I know that the gold standard is long gone because our government keeps on printing money. So I just don't think that. I think the way that our government sets up our current currency makes, unless you want to destroy our government, I suppose, and make like the dollar not valuable at all. Is that what the goal is, Dutch? Is that what your goal is?
No. I don't like talking to you about Bitcoin anymore. I don't like talking to you about it. It ruffles me. It triggers me.
Why does it trigger you?
It's because it's weird to me. Like, why were you so into Bitcoin early on, and now that everyone is actually adopting it, and it's actually becoming kind of a
I've
force.
never really seen you use it, though. You act like you use it all the time. You don't use it all the time.
I have used it.
No, you haven't.
Because you don't see me pay the bills, and you don't see me buy stuff.
You use it because you have to.
You know?
You use it because you have to cash it out. That's not really using it.
Used it all the time when I was playing on Seals with Clubs. Used it all the time. Every day.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a bad thing if it ruffles up your feathers and you can't have a discussion about it. That's actually makes me less confident about the currency. If you don't want to, it does because it's like, oh wow, you can't even talk about it.
Irritated. That's all. Getting irritated. I'm making bad moves at the poker table. Let's do a little 2.5.
That's not Bitcoin's fault.
Open. No, I'm not saying it's Bitcoin's fault. I'm saying it's your fault. It's your fault.
Yeah, right.
It's your fault I got knocked
out.
It's
the Bitcoin's fault. Why don't you take a Bitcoin? Why don't you go to play on Seals with Clubs and get some more Bitcoin?
Well, you guys, I feel like there's a pretty decent chance we're ahead. What do you guys think?
Well, if you're not ahead, Dutch, I would think that's a bad thing. Because maybe you're manifesting your confidence in Bitcoin into the poker game.
So RT Kabuto, you definitely should have taken free Bitcoin from Mycon. Mycon has given away a lot of Bitcoin, but
yeah, he has.
It wasn't worth anything when he was giving it away.
Like $35.
You know, it's stuff like that made Bitcoin worth what it is today, because he'd give it to people, and people would be like, now what do I do with it? And they'd figure out, they'd learn a little bit about it. They would, adopt it and understand how to use it.
But do you really understand it, Dutch? Or are you just like kind of echoing what they've told you on these videos?
I think that...
can you code it? Can you sit there and actually understand what's being coded out?
I've worked with Bitcoin...
Did you feel like it's complicated, though? Like a little complicated? Like...
Do you want to hear the answer?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I like. There's no finish line where you can be like, okay, I finally understand Bitcoin. There's none of that. Okay, Bitcoin. There's a lot that goes into Bitcoin. There's a huge GitHub repository. There's a white paper. I guess if you've read the white paper and understand the white paper, then that's the end line. But I have worked with Bitcoin as on a coding level. I've worked with Bitcoin transactions as objects. So I would say, do I understand it?
I mean, wouldn't you think that you should understand
Sure.
it?
Yeah, I would say I understand
Could
it,
you
yes.
could you code your own line of coin?
Well, most of the time when people create an altcoin, all they're doing is forking the Bitcoin
Yeah, I'm asking
repository.
if you can.
Yes. And it's pretty easy to do. You just fork the Bitcoin repository and rename it. So yeah. We could come up with Poker Coin. We got Iceman Kiwi cheering 100 bits. You're awesome, man. Thank you. We're gonna make the fold here with Pocket Kings.
Yeah, I like Bitcoin before Bitcoin was cool, and now
And now that everyone likes it,
I don't like
she
it no
hates
more.
it.
I
It's
hate it.
exactly like that little meow. Exawa is a Bitcoin hipster.
That's right.
That's exactly what
I'm too good for them
That's
coin.
exactly it. That's exactly.
That's right. I
it.
should get my glasses on too. Can you give me my gamer glasses so I can look cool?
She's like sitting there listening to Minus the Bear and Portugal the Man, and then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, that's a pretty good song. And she's like, yeah, I don't listen to them anymore.
Yeah, that was old news.
So, guys, we'll be right back in 3 minutes and
Look!
23
I am
seconds.
Krista has a very interesting about the problem. There shows an endless amount of digital currency that can be created. Isn't that a problem?
What does that even mean?
It means that we can just invent coins until they cannot be invented anymore.
Well, I would say that no, that's not really.
I'm gonna make my own paper, and I'm gonna make it money.
You
and
do
I want
look
you
like
guys-
a hipster.
And I want you guys to
look
buy
good.
it. I want you guys to buy my
You look
money,
like
my
a
fake
sexy
money.
little hipster.
I'm gonna draw every bill individually, and they'll be worth thousands of dollars. They'll be called shell bills. That's right.
Okay, guys,
Were we back? Did you rebuy? Did you add on?
got the
and stuff?
add-on in.
Look, Dutch, it's not a big deal, man.
We're gonna
If
be
you
right
have
back.
Bitcoin, that's cool, man. That's cool.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna invest in silver though,
I would recommend against investing in Dogecoin.
and Dogecoin. I want to get $100 of
Don't invest in
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
I hope tomorrow it goes to $20,
We'll be right
and
back.
I'll sell it.
Okay, we're back, you guys. Michelle's trying to convince me to buy her some Dogecoin. Why don't you just mine some Dogecoin?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Just buy me $20 of Dogecoin, dude. Trump coin! Trump coin!
There is a Trump coin.
I know. We should buy that, guys.
No.
Because you know what's going to happen? Donald Trump is going to dominate the world with his dominance. And it's going to be the greatest world, the greatest currency.
Stay away from every single altcoin out there.
But how can you say that? How could you say that?
After saying Ethereum?
Yeah, how can you say that?
Ethereum?
Well, you know what? I also liked Litecoin at one point, and Litecoin's hasn't done anything either. And Litecoin was the closest thing I think to a okay altcoin.
I liked Litecoin too.
What is Litecoin
for a couple of reasons? It's like at $3 or $4.
Yeah, we were
at one point it was at $50.
Yeah,
and then it tanked.
Why did it tank? But why did it tank?
Well, it tanked because all the reasons that Litecoin was special kind of disappeared. Like ASICs came around that mined the hell out of it better than GPUs. Everyone was counting on Charlie Lee, the developer of Litecoin, being able to get it into Coinbase, and Coinbase just has no interest in putting altcoins on there. Though Coinbase does have Ethereum up.
So, but that's my question. Why is Ethereum so much better than a Litecoin, and why can't another coin, for example, why can't another coin come up with the same type of benefits or things that Ethereum have? Why can't a coin just branch off and do it?
Maybe
so why would it be
better coin?
Exactly. So and then everybody would jump. So what would happen is they would jump ship off of Ethereum and jump onto that.
Maybe.
And that's isn't that how penny stocks work? I mean, isn't it similar to like that? They just kind of I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm asking you. Isn't it like everybody's
that's not
just
how penny
jumping?
Stocks work.
Well, I'm just making a ridiculous example.
Penny stocks are little stocks that are priced very small that
shoot up
in a company
that shoot up.
And I guess what you're saying, basically what you're saying is that you shouldn't invest in Walmart because eventually some other retailer will come along and do Walmart better.
No, I'm saying that.
And isn't that like what penny stocks are? So I guess in that respect, yes, that's exactly.
No,
the analogy
it's not.
Is perfect.
No, but seriously though, didn't you say about like the whole Bitcoin scenario?
Never invest in any company because another company will come along and do it better.
But it's not a company. But the problem is it's not a company. Okay.
Okay.
And I don't know. I mean, as far as the reason why I use the penny stock analogy is because most of those are like fly-by-night businesses. Pump and dump.
I do think that I don't
think a penny stock
do have
and
one
Walmart
common with ICOs, these initial coin offerings.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I meant. Not. I wasn't comparing it like Walmart because it's different. Walmart has people. They have. It actually has background paperwork that you can look at, or Amazon does, and things like that. They actually have something.
So I don't know what to do here. That's Kyle Lohman, impervious. I'm gonna go ahead and bet the 10, and we'll see if. Gosh, I just don't want to face a raise here.
But Dutch, don't you think that with the pump, weren't you telling me about a pump and dump before? There's a lot of price manipulation from China and Bitcoin. I mean, don't you feel like that's bad for currency? Like a rich person can just pump and then dump it, and then all the people that are hold with these little mini Bitcoins or whatever, not as much, that they get stuck holding the bag or they get stuck.
So. There was some pretty significant price manipulation.
But I really would like some Dogecoin though. So
Why?
If you can get
Why
me
do
some,
you want Dogecoin?
Because you know what, I believe in it.
Dogecoin was a joke.
I fucking believe in Dogecoin.
Even the people who forked the Dogecoin.
That's why it's going to work.
Like, this is hilarious.
That's why it's going to work because it's funny. I like funny money. I just want $20 worth, dude. That'd be really funny if it actually. Hey, that could be the future. You never know, Dutch. Look, I like Ethereum. All right, but like I said about Ethereum, I feel like another coin should just come along, a better one.
It could. Let me tell you why Ethereum is cool. Is because
It's backed by, because it's cool because of the people involved in it.
it has a very good developer community, but it was built to have this Turing complete scripting language within the transactions. So what that means is that you can actually code on the blockchain. You can actually do things within your transaction.
And this is where
that
the
you
domain.
can't
This is
do.
where the domaining thing comes in.
Yes. So one thing that I'm really interested in right now, you guys, is something called ENS, which is stands for the Ethereum Name Service. What they're trying to do is they're trying to replace DNS.
So
Domain
don't you
Name
think that's
Service.
bad though? Replacing the
No,
registrars?
No, I don't. I don't. There's another cool thing that's coming up right now called Pokerium. This is a poker project. This is something that actually is kind of relevant to what we're doing right now, which is playing online poker. So there's two projects right now which are trying to build a decentralized peer-to-peer poker platform, poker application on the Ethereum blockchain, which is incredible. What we're talking about is no middleman. So we don't have anybody shuffling cards and dealing them out. We don't have anybody holding the money for us while we're playing. It's incredible. It's incredible. And you might be asking, well, where's the money in that? And I think they're asking themselves the same question. How are you going to be able to...
You're just making a functioning tool that can make your game manifest itself.
Yeah, but if online poker was on the Ethereum blockchain before Black Friday would never have happened because they couldn't have shut anything down. There would be nothing to shut down. There wouldn't be domains that they could seize,
Yeah, but
and
they
entities
could-
that they could shut down, and people that they could throw in jail. If it was all decentralized, peer to peer, like
that's
BitTorrent technology.
But I mean,
It's-
look. I just don't. I mean, I think that's a great dream.
it is a great.
But look at
dream.
water.
What about it?
Water's free, but people fucking pay for that shit. I'm saying that. It's a dream, dude. Like nobody's gonna do
pipe
that.
dream is what
Nobody's
she's
gonna
saying.
fucking do that. Nobody's
She's
gonna.
saying that
Nobody's gonna do that.
Decentralized peer-to-peer poker is a pipe dream.
I
and
guess.
It is.
I guess.
It is.
I guess if you make like a GitHub-esque, open source-esque thing, maybe if the community came together and was
You're
like,
still going to have people put in a lot of resources to make it a
server.
reality.
Yeah.
And who's motivated to do that? You know, who is actually going to put in their time if there's not a big chunk of money at the end of that rainbow? You know, it's sad, really, because the potential is there. Like so, in order to make that happen, they had to solve something called mental poker. The idea is you have two people without an intermediary who are trying to come up with a way that they can play poker by mail, basically. How can they do that?
oh wow, that guy they were talking about that was making money, the artist, he made so much money he died. No.
He died of too much money?
No, he was a.
like
I
a
don't really know
great
the
way to-
background of him, but that's sad, dude. I'll have to look it up because he actually made money. He was an artist that made money, and I guess he spent it. It's kind of like, you know what? Who did that too? I didn't not Pablo Picasso.
I think Picasso did. I think
Did he?
Picasso was like paying for stuff.
Yeah, he was like a
Just do a
coffee.
little sketch here
This
for
will be
you.
worth a lot of money.
With the-
He'll be like this. He'll be like, this is gonna be worth so much money. Picasso. It's worth a lot of money, guys.
I'll give you my coffee for that.
So, that reminds me of a story about Robin Williams. Robin Williams did Aladdin. He did the voice of Aladdin. I think he got.
I know who Robin Williams was.
He did. He didn't get paid very much to do the voice, and he agreed that he would do the voice as long as they didn't sell any merchandise with his voicing like the character and stuff, like in McDonald's, you know, like the voice. But Disney reneged on that deal, and they sent him a Picasso, an $8 million Picasso, as like a I'm sorry type thing. Today
It's
I
very
learned.
nice of them.
Yes.
What?
So, yeah.
Disney
Disney sent him a
Corporation.
Picasso. Corporation said they would not sell
sent
his.
Robin Williams a Picasso
Because they-
as
they-
an apology
Yeah, because they did use his voice.
because they breached the contract
Yeah.
that they had.
So they sent him a Picasso.
And was that like on his request? He was like, "Oh, you could just send me a Picasso."
I don't
We'll call
know.
it even."
I you know I don't. I just saw
I mean,
that.
was
on,
he suing them?
no. It was just like a. It was just like a thing.
What?
Yeah, it was in Today I Learned.
And it was an $8 million Picasso.
Yeah, worth.
Because a lot of Picassos aren't worth that much.
Yeah, this one's not worth anything at all. But I'll sell it to you for $20.
You can
He actually made it.
find Picassos on eBay
We should get one.
because he
Just
was
to have it in the
very
background.
prolific. He drew all the time. That's all he was doing was just whipping stuff out, and he actually lived pretty long.
Yeah, he did. That's what we should. That's how our. That's what I think that our whole guys. I think that our whole society is really kind of crazy. If you really think about it, like who thought about the money trade thing? I mean, we should have been giving each other little drawings as currency. Like I would have you come over, Dutch, and you would mow my lawn, and I would draw you a beautiful painting. And you would say thank you and be on your way. And then I would make you a beautiful dinner. And then you, in turn, would draw me a beautiful painting. And I would say thank you. And then I would have these, instead of wallpaper, I would have paintings from different people or drawings. That's how our society should have been created.
Just a bunch of drawings.
Hey, a new movie idea. We'll call it The Drawing. Could work.
It's a pretty high concept.
It is, isn't it? How would you? Yeah. I mean, people would be paying for sex with drawings.
Would they be like?
It would be
nudie
legal too in
drawings?
this world, huh?
They'd be like nudie drawings.
No, they'd be like They would be like butterflies and shit, like unicorns.
That's how they do it.
And then the prostitute could be like, "This drawing's only worth a blowjob."
That turned blue really quick.
I know, but yeah, I mean. I don't know what gray markets are, but I will look that. That sounds interesting. The Power of the Poor, because you should really watch The Power of the Poor because gray markets are a real thing.
I'm not sure that I could define gray market.
Do you know what a gray market is?
I think gray market is when you barter.
Yes, that's my movie.
That's her movie. That's the name.
Gray market.
It's called Gray Market.
And it's about this
About
guy.
a guy who goes around
He's
paying
really,
for blowjobs with drawings.
Yeah, but he only can get blowjobs because his drawings are just not good enough.
My name is Simon, and I like to do drawings.
No, he's not going to be Simon. Well, you know what? He will be Simon. That will be his name. Simon, and he'll have a little lion. He'll have a pet lion that he walks around with.
But is that the definition of a gray market? Is a barter? No. Gray market, also referred to as the parallel market, is a market where a product is bought and sold outside the manufacturer's authorized trading channels. So I guess the gray market is like you buy cigarettes that fell off the truck. Or like you buy Ray-Bans which come from the same factory but aren't being sold by Ray-Ban. They're being like taken from the factory and sold.
Black market. Isn't that a gray market? Isn't that called the black market though?
I don't really understand the difference between a gray market and a black.
So I guess a gray would be like, I don't know. It sounds like a black market to me. Isn't that how it is?
It does sound like a black market, doesn't it? I guess the black market deals with banned, counterfeit, or stolen items.
Oh, okay. Gray market is the same thing, but not banned.
So
right?
would like a used bookstore be a gray market?
Oh, damn. Amazon is just full of gray market shit.
Sounds like it.
Unless it's like licensed through, like, I think you can't sell Apple things.
So black market is about trading in items that are legal. Gray market is lies somewhere between black and white markets. It generally deals with the genuine commodities. However, they lack the proper authorization or controlling factors.
I mean, do we want to live in a society where it's just basically gray?
Sure.
Do we?
Why not?
Bob Num does not draw very good, so he would suck in my new world.
Let's see if we can't get through here. Well, now we actually have some outs. A video. Let's think 10 thoughts.
10, 10, 10.
That's not one of our outs. We could turn it into a bluff. Yeah. It's got a weak ass ace. He'll look us up. MechBB99 keeps on giving us homework assignments.
I will check him out. No, this guy made his own currency. That's the guy that died.
That's the artist who would go
That's
around
his game. J.S.
and he would draw like
Boggs.
$100 bills and say, "Hey,
I don't really know.
will you give me $100?"
He was an artist. He was in the New York Times. They did a whole. On my birthday, he died.
Huh.
He died on my birthday. Sad. He made money literally. Isn't that like called count? Did he count?
JD Cole. JD, good to see you, by the way. He says, "I bought a painting from the zoo painted by an elephant's dick."
I mean, can they do
I
that?
don't think that's the case. I think that the elephants paint pictures and like
Yeah.
sell
So
them.
wait.
But I don't think they use their dick. I think they're using their trunk.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I mean, I guess it's all relative. But so garage sales are gray markets, right?
See,
Right?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like secondhand sales. Does that count as a gray market? I feel like maybe it does. Yeah, like going to like a garage sale might be a gray market. Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, that's an interesting. I don't really. I read occasionally about economics, but right now I'm currently reading about the brain. So I'll have to look at some good economic books. I mean, economics is pretty interesting. I don't really know what the answer is with currency and whatnot, and the value of anything. I just like giving Dutch shit.
Mm. She does. She loves it. Okay.
If only
Looks
I can
good.
sell that somehow.
So Broadable says, "LOL, no, that's the black market. Buying stolen shit is definitely black market." Okay, so buying stolen goods is black market. You can't buy, like, if you buy cigarettes that fell off of a truck. But if you buy...
But if you bought something to resell it, it's very confusing.
But if you buy... I feel like like a used bookstore would be a gray market. I feel like that would be a gray market.
All markets matter. That's right. All markets matter.
4-1 with a 6-9 off. Let's
So back
do
to this poker coin or whatever. Dutch. How are we gonna make this poker world happen where all you have to do is just
beautiful world vision of a decentralized.
So you think it's going to be
peer-to-peer.
like the World Wide Web in the fact that we don't have to pay for we pay for the connection, but we don't pay for the
You wouldn't pay for the connection. That's the thing. It would basically be.
Well, isn't the World Wide Web something that was made by the government that was kind of released to give us a platform to make websites on? Kind of, sort of like we don't have to pay the creators of the World Wide Web, for example.
That's correct.
So is that what you're saying? Is that we need to somehow make the same kind of idea happen with poker, where we don't pay for it. If we don't pay for it, it's just there as a tool.
Yeah.
But don't you feel like that's I mean, how is that even?
That it would be decentralized, peer to peer. So there wouldn't actually be anybody in the middle controlling the card room. It would just be the players themselves all working together controlling the card room.
But don't you think that would be subjected to like cheaters too? Like a lot of cheating?
No, I don't. I think that there's ways to do it that you could start building trust around like the players that you play with, and have.
But don't you think that's setting yourself up for the long con?
Yes, I do. I
forgot.
How could I forget about the long con?
You give 20, you get 20, you get 30, give 30. Ask for 100, give 100 back. Ask for 1,000, still give that back.
The long con.
That's the long con, dude.
Every once in a while, I question whether Michelle is just long conning me.
It's very long.
It's very long.
Very fucking long.
It's very long.
Very, very long.
Oh man.
Can I borrow $20, Dutch? Where's my Doge? Where's my Doge? Seriously though.
I'm not giving you Dogecoin.
I want some Dogecoin just to have it.
Are you serious right
now?
now?
Yeah, I do. I want some Dogecoin just to have it.
Why? Why would you want Dogecoin?
Because I want to sprinkle my Dogecoin to people.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it a thing.
There's ways to get Dogecoin without doing anything. I'm sure there's like a Dogecoin faucet out there.
Oh, you mean like watch this ad and get some Dogecoin?
Free Dogecoin. You can get free Dogecoins.
You know what? I did get some free Bitcoins actually once upon a time ago. Not Bitcoins, but part of a Bitcoin. Did we check my other computer to see if I had any Bitcoins in that wallet, in any wallets or anything? By chance or no?
You don't have any Bitcoins in it.
You sure?
I'm sure,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sure. Making the fold. What are we looking at here? 30 out of 63. So we've lost a third of the field so far. First place in this thing is $1,789. How much do I have to pay for it?
$3.
I'll give you a drawing.
How are you going to draw it with a pen? I'll rent this pen to you.
I'll make a drawing with my trunk.
Funny. No, I'm interested in current. I just don't understand. I feel like if it was going to be a thing, it should have been a thing by now. It's been a long time, since 2010.
So Thin Blue Line, good to see you, by the way, man. I'm not sure what the guy's name of the guy that played the WSP main event and got a tattoo, ended up losing first hand. I'm not sure who we're talking about.
Somebody got a tattoo? For what?
I'm not sure.
Oh. Why are we asking?
I don't know. I'll make the fold there with King 2 off.
Wait. Has any of you guys played the Feast of Odin, A Feast for Odin yet? A Feast for Odin. Anyone? It's right there.
We have that game.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
I challenge you, Dutch, to a game of Feast of Odin.
Yeah,
it's gonna take us 3 hours to figure out how to play it, but it'll be worth it. Yeah, Bob Num is right about this poker thing. You need like, people are gonna steal from that shit, dude. Don't people steal from Bitcoin sites all the time? Isn't that like the reason why
the idea
Bitcoin's
behind a decentralized peer-to-peer poker network
would
be that there wouldn't be anything to steal from because the funds aren't being held anywhere. Every single time you enter a pot, you're putting up coins into a smart contract, into an address. Like right now, there's 2 projects that are trying to build this kind of thing. One's called Pokerium, another one's called I can't remember what the other one's called. Pokerium's a little bit further along. Neither one of them look like they're really good off the ground.
I mean, can't people just forge or code their way in there, like hack it, like hack a contract saying that?
Let me tell you something. It would be a lot easier to hack a poker site that was centralized and under someone's control, where there was a whole bunch of money sitting in a bank account. Be a lot easier to compromise something like that.
Yeah, but the problem is that what you're saying is worse. Like if somebody compromised a bank account of a business, it's like a worser crime. Wouldn't it be than just like some decentralized project? I mean, don't you feel like the reason why people
Speaking of which,
hack Bitcoin
you guys
is
hear that
because
Scott
of that?
Tom is back in the States? Scott Tom from Absolute Poker turned himself in like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Turned himself in. So he's actually going to be coming up with.
He's probably going to play the series.
He might.
That'd be cool.
I
Phil
doubt
Tom's
it.
cool.
I doubt we'll ever see Scott Tom in the World Series.
Do you think people will be all like the Howard Letter in him? I doubt it. I doubt he's a big enough name.
I think he would. He's a big enough name.
Do you feel like that? People know his face?
Yeah.
I just feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the things that he's accused of are way worse than what Howard Letter and Chris Ferguson are accused of.
Really?
Yeah. You know,
What did he
Scott-
do? Can you enlighten our wonderful
Allegedly. So, the Pot Ripper scandal was under Absolute Poker.
What is that? The Pot
Ripper.
Ripper?
Pot Ripper was.
And what year is this?
This must have been 2009.
Oh wow, that's a long time
I'm
ago.
gonna say 2009.
Back in the olden days,
So
before
Pot Ripper
coins
was
were
this
bits.
poker player on Absolute Poker that was just winning everything, for like a week, and he was making some incredible moves, where he would like make hero calls with like 9 high, like crazy bluffs.
9 fucking high. Holy shit.
And incredible hero calls.
That's a little bit much, man. Wow. I mean, if you're
And,
gonna do that shit, you should fucking. Wow.
Be a little more subtle.
Yeah, that's a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
that's some greed right there.
So Haley Hintz went down to Costa Rica. Haley Hintz is a journalist for. She's done a lot of journalism for a lot of different poker outlets, mainly 4flush.net. She's in the middle of writing a book on the on Black Friday and Full Tilt and Ultimate Bet and Absolute, and she's definitely been a player's advocate. And someone who's kind of trusted for not, for trying to bring the ethics of journalism to poker. So she's not one that's like willing to turn a blind eye to a potential scam just because
They're paying you?
because they're advertising on her site. Like 4Flush, I think that the site that she is.
Here, Dutch, I want you to have this picture. This payment in lieu of my Doge.
You got it. How many Dogecoin is that worth, you guys?
That's worth $20 worth of
Nope.
Dogecoin.
It's worth 20 Dogecoin.
No, it's not. It's worth $20.
Worth 20 Dogecoin. I'm going to give you 20 Dogecoin
No.
for this.
I'll give you
20
20 of
Dogecoin.
those then.
400 Dogecoin
That's right.
for 20 little drawings?
Yes. That's a lot of drawings, man. I don't think
Probably
it's worth
worth
it.
400 Dogecoin. Yeah, I would do that.
No.
You make me
Let's
20
credit
of
it.
these and I'll give you 400 Dogecoin. Yeah, I'd do that. That's worth it. That's 10 cents. 10 cents for the Doge. So she went down to Costa Rica when Absolute was trying to say, oh no, there was nothing wrong. We've got it all under control. And she actually uncovered some things while looking at their back end that showed that Scott Tom actually approved the withdrawals
He
for
proved it.
Pot Ripper. And
Wait. They were friends? Or?
see, the official Absolute Poker line was that Pot Ripper was a rogue coder who, was using a backdoor that he built into the software to rip off a whole bunch of poker players. But Haley Hintz came up with some pretty compelling evidence that says that it went a little bit more than just a rogue programmer, that it actually went all the way to the top to Scott. Now, I don't know, and I've met Phil Tom, his dad, and I know Phil has gotten a lot of heat for his involvement in Absolute, even though by pretty much anybody's story, Phil Tom's involvement ended with writing a check. And I don't really think that he had anything to do with it. But he's very defensive of Scott. I've talked to with him over some beers. His son, Scott Tom. And he insists Scott got the raw end of the deal. I don't know. I don't know. I think that it from looking at some of those screenshots that Haley put out, it doesn't look like it was just a rogue coder. And when you look at some of the usernames that they selected, a lot of them were kind of specific to Scott Tom's life, not the coder's life.
Well, how much money did the person get away with?
We'll never know. But I think that for what was caught was in the millions.
Wow.
It wouldn't be the first time that someone at the highest level of an organization hole carded their players. I mean, you look at
Mute it.
Oh, hold on. We got a special gift here. WPT champion and recent bike champion, Jordan Christos.
Yes.
The
WPT champion in a past life, but yes. Yes.
Does it feel like that long ago?
It does feel like that long ago.
It's awesome to see you.
Awesome to see you. Awesome to see this in action. I've watched the stream, played it a few times on here, but in person with the mic and the dual screens and the June greeting
this is what we know. We know that you're not any of these guys right here. We can say you're not a Poker Joker 2, confirmed.
No,
not
absolutely.
I Love Poon,
Nope,
confirmed.
he sucks. They both suck.
He's such a dick.
Yeah, they all suck. All those guys, they all pull up the screen.
Do you want to sit here,
Jordan?
Jordan?
Dutch sucks.
You can sit here across from Dutch.
Dutch
You gonna be on the stream for a second?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Here, I'm gonna go get some
So,
coffee.
like on the stream, like just sit in your chair and talk to everyone.
I have a chair here.
Alright, cool.
Here.
Oh, you're streaming over here.
Yeah,
too?
yeah. So this is
Oh, look at
this
this, man.
is
The
Dutch.
studio's
This is
like-
Dutch. Yeah, it's kind of tiny. But this is Dutch's.
Wow.
This is what's going on 5 minutes ago, and this is what
Nice
Dutch is
right
playing
here.
now. And this is the chat.
This is nice right here.
Yeah,
This
you
one,
like
what
this?
is this mat? Yeah, this
This
reminds
is,
me of my Magic the Gathering mat. They said the play mat. You set it out there, all your art.
This
You
is
know.
my
you're like,
here was
Dude, I got a Magic the Gathering playmat. When we went up to PAX. Show and tell.
oh, this is on delay.
yeah.
It's on like a 5-minute
Oh
delay,
wow.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
Just watching
if you
everything.
say something that you want to like take back from the world, we can
Yeah,
just
we could just.
Oh,
turn it
we
okay.
can just turn it off.
we could just do that. Erase that 40
What do you
seconds.
think of that?
Wow, that is beautiful.
Nice, right? It's
Oh my god.
It's got the little Seattle Seattle dome right
I thought
there.
that was the stratosphere. I thought it was like
Yeah.
Vegas and Taj Mahal, like it's like Atlantic City and Las Vegas. Yeah, wow, that's gorgeous.
So we were telling a story about something that happened at the Wynn Classic
Oh, about that guy who stole the pen? The guy who stole the pen and
from
like
Eric Blair.
and he
Yeah.
was wearing the Trump hat, the
So,
Make America Great
Did
Again
you see
hat.
that on the tweets, or did you just like hear about that?
No, this was I heard it from Mark Darner, who's good friends with Blizzair, who got the full story
Yeah.
via text.
So
Personal,
Blizzard
yeah.
was in seat 2, and I was in seat 3 when that happened.
Oh wow! And the kid
So-
was in seat 1,
Yeah.
and he he offered the kid $1,000 free roll.
Here,
He offered him
sit down, sit down.
He offered him $1,000.
Oh.
Don't die. Got it.
Don't die. He offered him $1,000 free roll to empty his pockets on the table, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't Eric Blair who offered the $1,000 free roll. It was some other guy on another table who saw him pick it up and put it in his
Oh,
pocket.
that was Luke Vrabel, BD Beat Slayer.
That was Luke, like an
Yeah.
older guy with kind of an accent?
Oh no! Oh, it was no. But Luke Vrabel, BD Beat Slayer, was in the tournament at another table, and he said that he saw the kid pick it up and put it in his pocket. So he was probably maybe they both saw it. You know, maybe
Maybe.
multiple people saw it. But
So you must be very lucky because we just got pocket aces in this thing.
Wow, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I'm either very lucky or very bad luck, so we're about to find out.
We're gonna end this.
The big blind's pretty deep. He's gonna be peeling a lot of hands. You might get there, bro. Oh, what's up, Gumbo? Good, giving us our money, bro.
Well,
Give
let's
it that
think
money.
about it. I don't really want to let him off the hook.
Yeah, to flat or to pile. Ugh.
I know, right? Yeah, let's just pile it.
Yeah, he's not
going
bluffing. He's
anywhere.
calling. Thanks, bro. Yeah, you got that.
Oh,
Oh my God.
That's gonna do it for our stream, you guys.
That's gonna do it for me. I'm out of here.
No, we got him covered. We got him covered. We still got a little
Oh, we
bit.
got him covered.
Okay.
We got him
Yeah.
covered.
Dang.
Cool.
Hey, that's how it is. Though. It's either lucky or not lucky.
I'm
That's
either lucky or
poker.
not. Oh man, I feel like that's my fault.
No.
I was like, well, I'm either the luckiest person to show or the unlucky. Yeah.
Yeah, the crazy thing was we got queens right afterwards and we just folded it because it's like this isn't going anywhere. We'll just lose.
Oh, you folded queens, UTG?
Under the gun, yeah.
I have a
Under the
cool
gun for
story
5
with
bigs.
queens. I had 4 big blinds and a turbo when I was playing like 10 tournaments at the same time. I was under the gun with queens and I timed out, and the big blind ended up having kings. And I went on to win the turbo.
That's
It
hilarious.
was like
man.
2 or 3K on merge like a few years ago. Yeah. How awesome.
Misclick power.
Yeah. Misclick takedown. Misclick shipped the 3K.
How's your day going?
Good, really good. Just recovering from busting the bike yesterday. Yesterday not so good, but today, today's good.
What was
Today's
going on at the bike? What was
1675 main event.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it that like what's the series? Main event of what?
The circuit.
Oh, it's WSB circuits. out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. They had like some 500s and some other prelims and stuff, and then they had the 1600 main, 1675 main, and 3250 main.
We just got a sub Whiskey Coyote 17 months in a row. Boom! Thank you, man.
Whiskey Coyote.
Yeah, whiskey.
Whiskeys and dogs.
So usually I'd be calling with any 2 here, but there's a big difference between any 2 and the worst 2.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make the fold. We can find a better spot.
You can see the chat better.
Plus, I don't want the stream to end. It's so rare that we have a special guest.
I know. We never have a guest.
Yeah, this is awesome. I feel privileged. I feel this is
You're our
awesome.
first guest.
Yeah. Just right down the street is like, oh, I'm coming over. I don't care if they're sleeping. I'm gonna wake them up. We're gonna hang out.
Jeez.
And then boom, just streaming.
We have some cool games we should play.
Let's try this.
Jordan can to
We're not gonna shove.
sometime
We're gonna
travel
limp.
in a race. Anything he says.
Yeah, you can travel.
Boney Jordan can to some
Got
travel.
out 6 rays.
What is that guy saying?
That's not what we're out.
He's just saying because it's 5 minutes delay. He's saying that what we were saying about us erasing. Did you just?
Okay, they read.
Just busted.
Damn, Dutch. Where'd you
So that's
have?
it. 8-3.
Oh.
So it folded around to the small blind. We have 4 bigs, right?
Mhm.
And I know that he's going to call anything that we shove.
Mhm.
So I decided, you know what? We're not going to shove. We're going to limp, and then we're going to shove the flop. And
You
if he
limped?
shoves, I'm going to be calling off. So I limped, and he shoved, and we called.
That's a really interesting way to get, yeah, I like that a lot
I mean, I
more
don't
than
know.
shoving, limping, and just like maybe he checks back like
Maybe he checks back and folds
the
the flop.
10 the T6
You know?
yeah, and just folds the 9 whatever,
Yeah,
9
or
jack
like-
3.
Or queen jack, maybe. Maybe he folds even over cards. I don't know. But like he's never folding pre, and we have the worst of it, but we're invested enough in the pot where folding I think is wrong, leaving us with 3 big blinds when we're getting, there's already, 1,700 in the pot. So I don't think folding. I don't think
Do you
folding
think
is the
there's
right
some
move
merit to folding and seeing 6 more hands that could be like ace X or whatever, and then just going with the big blind the very next time? Because if you go all in, if you fold and then get to the big blind with 2 blinds and double, you're still gonna have like 6 blinds, 6.5, which is like pretty much like having 8 there with 8-3 offsuit, or 6.5 with one of 7 more hands.
I do think there's merit in it, but I don't like folding there. With 3 bigs, I think that it's with the antes in there. I think you just pretty much have to take the the 40 the wrong end of the 64.
Yeah, you're gonna be you're getting 2-1 with any two cards there, like to just gamble.
And I don't think that folding, hoping for a better spot in the next 6 hands is the way to go. Maybe if we were close to the bubble, maybe. But I do like folding and waiting for a better spot better than shoving when you know you're going to get called and almost always going to be worse.
What if there's like multiple 5 big blind stacks behind that are like super nitty fish that like might just fold to like a 3.5 big blind all in, like
maybe live.
Then it would be a good time to
maybe.
fold potentially. Yeah.
But I don't think you're ever going to have that spot in the 33K guaranteed on WSP.com. But maybe live where you can be like, wow, that guy's folding in a spot where he should be calling any 2. And you can pick that up. And
live, you can like min raise on 2.8 big blinds and leave something behind, and they don't even know, and they just instantly fold. Like
you can also beg too.
Yeah.
You can also be like make the min raise and be like, look into your heart, fold, please fold. And sometimes they do.
I'd rather just not say anything and hope they just like insta fold. So if you put on a show, then they'll be like, wait, what's going on? Why is this guy so all up in the shit right now? Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Am I not allowed to say the SH star
we
T
get
word?
Fined, but
you get fined?
Big deal.
How much did I just cost you? The Twitch police cutting down. They're sniping 1 sub worth of 1 per curse word.
Pretty much.
How it works. Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're gonna shut the stream down. We're gonna hang out with
a lot of cool stuff in here.
You guys are awesome. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m.
or 7 o'clock
Pacific Standard Time.
I will learn about Dogecoin. I'm going to get some Dogecoin.
Bye.
She's going to get some Dogecoin.
Follow me
on Twitter. Am I still on camera doing this?
You want to promote anything?
When is it off?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it's not. Just keep going. I was just doing. I thought that was like the end scene.
That was going to be the end scene.
Thing and then,
You want them to follow you?
Yeah. What's your
at JC and Blue?
What's your?
Yeah. Follow me at JC and Blue. Yeah. I'll let you know when I win something. It's like the only time I post on there. That Twitter game, So many just trolls out there, There's a lot of good info. There's a lot of great info, but I just get caught up in the negativity too much, and I just ruins like 15 minutes of my day, and I'm just like, why am I doing this?
Speaking of
a bunch
Twitter
of
stuff,
jerk offs.
Did you see that little Dan Bilzerian, Kate Hall thing today?
Dan Bilzerian and Kate Hall are gonna play heads up now?
No. This is so.
It's Kate Hall versus
Dentali,
and then Kate Hall versus Bilzerian.
No. So what happened was Dan Bilzerian tweeted to Kate Hall, said, "I don't know who you're playing, but I would like to bet on him because girls can't play poker."
Oh shit!
Wow! Oh, she must have loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She loved it. She was like, "Thank you." Yeah. Actually, she tweeted, "Someone should tell Dan that his account got hacked," which I thought was a funny response.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
She should play Dan heads up for like $4 million.
He's never gonna play her.
She should bet her life versus his $4 million, and just scoop it easy $4 million. Or maybe she dies. But I mean, I think she'd be willing to take that risk against Dan Bilzerian heads up.
She should.
I think anyone would.
Yeah, I took a look at his Hendon Mob.
I don't even play heads up for a living. I play him heads up for death.
Hendon Mob.
He has a Hendon Mob, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what did he cash in?
2,000. He cashed in the main event of the WSOP back in 2010.
I would have guessed he like min cashed to Arya 25K high roller after being in for like 7 bullets. That would be like, all right, he's got like multiple Arya 25K min cashes.
Does anybody ever ask you when you're telling them that you are a professional poker player? Do they ever ask, have you ever met Dan Bilzerian? Have you ever played with Dan Bilzerian?
No.
Never.
No.
They always ask Dutch that, I guess.
That's one of the questions
That's
I get.
all they ask.
They like Dan Bilzerian. I like the Doug Polk videos of him like demystifying Dan Bilzerian and XYZ claims that he has about his whatever. Doug Polk might get in some Dan Bilzerian could like hire somebody to like come after him for publicly outing him. That's pretty ballsy of Doug Polk to do that.
I'm not sure
I think
that Dan Bilzerian would have to hire anybody. He'd do it himself.
Yeah, maybe.
It's kind of a scary dude.
I don't know. Well, he's like going around telling everyone like, yeah, I made $50 million at poker when everyone knows it's bullshit. And then Doug Polk is like, yo, everybody, like, I just want to let you know that this guy is a complete fraud of a poker player, and he got all of his money from this, and he like shows you in the video, which is like, You know, I don't know. I'm more of a fan of just like let Dan like do his thing. You know, he's already like in enough shit already. He doesn't need you. You know, but Doug Polk is, you know, he's just speaking the truth. You know, can't hate on that either.
Yeah.
You and Doug Polk should get together and do something. I think that'd be a lot of funny business.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
But yeah.
We'll be back another
Heads
time.
up limit. Dutch Boyd.
You guys are awesome. We'll see you later.
Bye.